With the Bredlis clutch due to hatch any day now, I figured what a perfect time to show off some Bredlis out in the sun. We got a break in the heat, so let's get everyone outside and take a closer look. Come with me and enjoy some beautiful Bredli. Alright, so this handsome devil right here is a young male hypogenetic stripe produced by Lucas Lee of Centralian Exotics. Look at that combination of genetics. Genetic stripe is a recessive. And hypo is sort of like a bloodline, sort of polygenic attribute. And if you know anything about genetic stripe, it's quite dark on its own, while this hypo really cleans and brightens it up. Alright, this girl might look very similar to that last male we looked at, and that's because she too is a hypogenetic stripe, also from Lucas Lee of Centralian Exotics. She's a 2021, however, so she's a little bit older and quite a bit bigger, but equally as phenomenal. Crazy obliterated side patterns, beautiful striping, great color, and that big dragon Bredli's head. This blue-eyed beauty here is a het stonewash male produced by my good friend Owen McIntyre of Rogue Reptiles, also the witty half of NPR. And this guy is pretty cool. Got your classic Bredli look. Has a lot of red that actually bleeds into his tail still. Some nice high contrast, beautiful blue eyes. And this guy actually comes from the BHB line of Bredlis. Brian Barczyk actually popped out Stonewash years ago. So stamped his name in Morelia history in that way. It's kind of neat to have an animal that has some of that lineage in it. So this dude, again, is a het stonewash. So outwardly normal, but can make some cool stonewash animals down the line. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit trickier to tell, but this is my female stonewash, and she's a very low expression, but basically the red pattern and space in between all the markings and stonewashes scrubbed off, and there's like pink tones on the belly. Now she's a low expression because she's also, I believe, het stripe, but we'll need to do some test breeding for that, and some suspicions are that a het stripe might reduce the amount of stonewash visually displaying, but that is just the hypothesis between myself and the individual who produced this beautiful, Mr. Alan Stevens of Origins Reptile. So this is a beautiful Bredli's python, genetically a visual stonewash, or the homozygous expression, but there are animals that express it much more highly out there, where it looks like the pattern is almost scrubbed off entirely of the red area in between all markings, but you can see some of it there. Regardless, she's beautiful. She's a little food aggressive in her enclosure, thinks fingers are food at times, but once you switch that off, she's wonderful, as are all Bredli. Alrighty, and you may recognize this handsome fella here, because this guy has been with me for a while. This is a Lazic line Bredli's python, produced by SBK Reptiles. I've had him since he was a little neonate. I've had him for about 8 years. And he is the father of the clutch that is due to hatch any day now. He's got your classic rich red, beautiful solid tones that fade to this gorgeous inky black tail. Very high contrast, beautiful animal. If you're not familiar with Lazic line, that is the name named after Casey Lazic, who is one of the OGs of Morelia. Brought in a lot back in the day, produced a lot for sort of pioneering the species before any of us really knew what we were doing. So gorgeous, quintessential Morelia Bredli example here. last but certainly not least, the belle of the ball, the queen of them all, my big girl, my big female Lazarcline, counterpart to the male that you just saw, also produced by SPK Reptiles. And she's been putting weight on very nicely after her clutch. She's just glowing today, absolutely. What a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. I don't know if there's anything more to say about these animals that I haven't already said. Not bad hanging out with some Bredlis in the sun. That's going to do it for us this week, folks. Next week we should have her babies hatching, so be sure to keep an eye out for that video. If not, we'll be finding something else to fill in. But I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at all 6 of my Bredlis pythons that I have. Saving the best for last, obviously. Big Mama here, Miss Chevelle. Got to give a big shout out to my sponsors, Helligai Serpents. Love 3D printed snake perching and awesomeness, so go check him out at helligaiserpents.com and Helligai Serpents on Instagram. Be sure to also give some love and support to Reptiles Express, my other sponsor. If you're doing any shipping this year, they're by far going to get you the best prices, service, and they have all the materials you need. So use code Riley50 to get discounts on your shipping labels. If you haven't used that, it gets you up to 50% off the standard FedEx shipping rates for up to 10 labels per customer. So go check out Reptiles Express at reptilesexpress.com and on Instagram. If you aren't already, become a member of USARK in USARK, Florida, please. I don't say it enough, even though I'm sure you're sick of hearing me saying it, but they really do need our support. They're the only body of folks working to prevent undue legislation against us keeping these animals. So go support those who support us. And if you want to support me and what I'm doing here, check me out on Patreon. Just Riley Jimison on patreon.com. I'll catch you guys all later. Peace.